Alright, everybody, welcome back. So, the Toronto Maple Leafs have hired Brad Treliving as their 18th general manager in franchise history, and I kind of have a lot of thoughts on it. So, we'll start off with the Shanahan stuff. So, Shanahan originally said they're looking for a general manager that has experience within the role, and Treliving definitely has that. He's been the GM for a very long time with Calgary, and he's made some moves that, yes, have been questionable, but also he's made some moves that have turned out to be pretty solid. The biggest one that you're going to bring up is the Matthew Tkachuk trade, where they dealt Tkachuk to Florida for Huberto, Uyghur, Schmidt, and a first. And then he signed Nazem Kadri later on in the season. Now, people pinpoint that on, the trade was a loss. Huberto did bad when he came to Calgary. And look at Tkachuk. Florida's in the finals now. So there's a lot of ways you can look at it, definitely. But honestly, and I don't want to go too off topic here with talking about this trade, but a lot of people actually had Calgary winning this in retrospect. And the return was solid. They just got unlucky this first year. And I think there was a lot of problems you could point out in Calgary as to why that was the issue. But I don't look at any of those being Brad Treliving besides maybe the trade deadline and maybe firing Daryl Sutter. That those two might be the biggest ones there with me that I think, maybe you could blame those on it. There are a lot of factors that I think, you look at Kyle Dubas, you look at the job that he did. I don't think it's better than Dubas, but it's not worse than Dubas either. It's not bad, really, really bad either. And that's kind of what I've seen throughout a lot of the posts talking about Treliving being the new Leafs GM. It could have been better, but it could have been worse too. It could have been Mark Bergevin. That would have been bad. But honestly, Treliving, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either, because I feel like with the Treliving mentality, he looks at building teams during the summer. And you look at past trade deadlines. Besides probably 2022, they didn't make many big moves. Like the only big move that I could think of from the season in 2022 where they were really good before they made all the moves, was the Cale Yarncrook deal. But that wasn't that huge of a trade. And of course, ironically, he's in Toronto now, so I guess they're going to connect it back to that. And hey, Mark Giordano as well. They connect them two together. So that there's relationships here with Treliving with a lot of these players. But it's going to be interesting to see what he's going to do, relying on the core of Matthews, Marner, Riley, Tavares, etc. All those guys, because it's really interesting to me because they let Gaudreau walk, and Conroy, the brand new GM of the Flames, said it very well, saying that we thought Gaudreau was going to stay. He thought Gaudreau was going to stay, but then he didn't. He doesn't want to have that, and this is the worrying thing. Toronto can't have that happen. Whether it's Matthews, Marner, Nylander, they can't have any of those guys just walk, or this fan base is going to lose it. They can't. They simply can't. Because you can have your arguments about some of these players, but they're good players. There's no denying that. And if you let a guy like, let's say Austin Matthews, for example, let's go to the big guy. Let's say he walks, and he walks for nothing. That is bad. That is horrible for Toronto. You're going to have to restart, pretty much, because your rebuild initiated around him. And it really does make me wonder, contract-wise, he's been, okay with drafting and trading and, signing players to deals, but he kind of signs a little bit too much when it comes to that, and as well as that, too, when you look at Toronto, they've been up against the cap virtually every single year with Kyle Dubas, and with Treliving, I'm wondering how he's going to be able to work around that. I know he's dealt with the same situation before, but I don't really know. And then as well as that, too, there's the pressure factor. Is he going to be able to handle the pressure with, Toronto media? I saw that Treliving's dad was at the NBA game. It's not Treliving, it's his father, so that's what I think of that. But, there's a lot to think about when it comes to Treliving, but I'll leave it at this. It could have been better, but it also could have been worse. So anyways, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Coincidentally, and I keep track of how many videos I make for each team, this is my 60th video on the Toronto Maple Leafs. So that's something funny to keep in mind. But anyways, thank you all very much for watching. For Sports, I really do appreciate it. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. And anyways, thank y'all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Adios.